Brand new week, my friends. Same old problems, only they're worse. Let's get right to it. This is Howard Riell. The show is called Real Truth. Item from the Gateway Pundit. Now listen to this. Socialist Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is the new darling of the Democratic Party. In a recent interview, however, the upstart Politico running in the hyper-liberal district of New York did not show command of the issues. Ocasio-Cortez was being interviewed by Margaret Hoover of the PBS show Firing Line. Hoover asked very basic softball questions of the young congressional candidate. In explaining her positions on the economy, Hoover asked Ocasio-Cortez, quote, "Do you think capitalism has failed to deliver for working-class Americans?" unquote. Hoover cited the currently booming U.S. economy and low unemployment. Quote, "Unemployment is low because everyone has two jobs," Ocasio-Cortez explained, lamenting that people are employed but having to work long hours. Quote, "Capitalism has not always existed in the world and will not always exist in the world," she said. She also said, quote, "I think people are starting to see, at least with the occupation of Palestine, is the increasing crisis of the humanitarian condition. And that, to me, is where I tend to come from on this issue," unquote. So the darling of the Democratic Party, A, is a dumbbell. B, she's not in favor of capitalism, and she's eager to see it come to an end. C, she feels that, quote, unquote, Palestine is occupied. So if you are someone who feels Israel has a right to exist, then you cannot possibly ever vote Democrat, because the Democrats think Israel is occupied and the Jews should get out. That's what this nitwit in Queens, the socialist moron, thinks, and she's the toast of the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party is the mob, and no one said that better than Ann Coulter in her book Dominque, How the Liberal Mob is Endangering America. Here's a quote from Ann Coulter. "The demon is a mob, and the mob is demonic. The Democratic Party activates mobs, depends on mobs, coddles mobs, publicizes and celebrates mobs. It is the mob. Sweeping in its scope and relentless in its argument, Dominque explains the peculiarities of liberals as standard groupthink behavior. To understand the mob is to understand liberals." My friends, that's completely true. The screaming of the mob violence, mob unthinking reaction, that's the Liberal Party. That's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. That's what the liberals are putting forth. That's why you have to be out of your mind to ever vote for a Democrat, ever. It's Monday, and it's real truth. And of course, it goes without saying, we'll be right back.
Our associates in Boulder want you to remember your life began at conception. So does the life of every yet-to-be-born person. Baby and mother both lose when 1 in 3 women go against their instincts to choose abortion. Former abortion doctor Nathan says people do not understand that there are thousands of serious physical complications from abortion every year. Post-abortion crises with severe depression, stress, anxiety disorder, sleep disturbance, suicide, violent behavior, sterility, increased risk of miscarriage and delivery complications. International Journal of Epidemiology reported abortion increases breast cancer risk by 90%. Every homeless baby has the right to life, too. This life-giving message is brought to you by TLR Associates of Boulder, providing a job once done from your home or business with design, stucco, stone, and brick. Call TLR Associates of Boulder, 303-921-3310. TLR Medallion branded stucco protection service of Boulder and Norfolk, Colorado area.
Most people think they can't afford to invest in gold and silver. But at the Patriot Trading Group, we believe that everyone should have the opportunity to own hard assets. That's why we created our Preferred Metals program. You can get started for as little as $100 a month. Go to allamericangold.com and click on our Preferred Metals icon to learn how you can get started today. Or call us at 800-951-0592. The Patriot Trading Group, allamericangold.com.
guys, let's kick it off. Once again, you're listening to Howard Riell here at Real Truth. If you're like me, you were watching the Trump and Putin press conference a couple hours ago. Here's Michelle Malkin weighing in on liberal hypocrisy on Russia. Important topic. Let's listen.
Live from Helsinki.
Well, folks, Ainsley Airhead has no idea why there's hypocrisy surrounding Trump, but it's obvious to anyone who's not an airhead. The Democrats were not going to criticize Barack Obama. He was their guy. They're criticizing Trump because he is extinctifying them. That's why. So whether their objections are real or imagined or complete nonsense, the Democrats will say it because their voters are low-information voters who are just stupid enough to believe it. Ainsley, it makes perfect sense, and if you were listening to Real Truth every day, as you should be, you would understand. The Democrats hate Trump because he's taking their power away. He's showing that they offer nothing whatsoever. He won't let the media get away with its lies. And because, as I've said many times on this show, Trump represents us, and the Democrats hate us. Democrats, the media, despise the average American, the working class, middle class Americans. They don't want us running the country the way we're supposed to be. They want the rich liberal elites to continue running the country. Donald Trump says no, hence they hate him. Let's go to a break. The education will continue on the far side, my friends. Stick around.
Ladies, this is Nancy Rose, informing you that public taxes different perspectives. Knowledge of somebody indigestion the breath simply says use the key, but still checkmate. Get emergency medical help and call 911 immediately. If you're experiencing any of these symptoms, pain, pressure, burning, or squeezing in the chest, jaw, shoulder, back, or arms that last up to 5 to 10 minutes, unexplained shortness of breath of 5 to 10 minutes, sudden severe nausea, vomiting, indigestion, sudden sweating for no reason, sudden unexplained extreme fatigue, loss of consciousness or fainting, or sudden unexplained panicky feeling of doom, anxiety, it's the person to your body. Follow your instincts, and if you experience symptoms that are disturbing to you in any way, or even repulsing or making to your heart, get yourself checked out right away. If your doctor pushes you off, that's a sign you need a doctor. One will act with physical necessary to get to the bottom of your symptoms.
Frequent power has been providing for lots of electrical power systems in the Rocky Mountain area since 1992. Power systems rely on the sun to help make you self-reliant over power needs. Solar energy can be stable in any situation. For example, power independence to backup power for the short term. Power efficiency focuses dependable power. But if we have extensive experience with using intermittent systems, lighting all the way to commercial scale power. Frequent power is a full service company. We serve everything we sell. We provide and design turnkey package, custom design system and parts for doing more than 20 years of specialized experience that you're
on the radio. All right,
what your power concern for gold star. Reach us by phone or the internet. Call 303-239. 303-239-9963 or go to brickplanesolar.com.
All right, guys, let's get right to it. The Mark Simone Show, guest Ann Coulter talking NATO, talking Judge Kavanaugh, talking common sense, which is why she's on my show right now.
Thank you.
My friends, did I not read you that quote from Ann Coulter's book, Dominque, about the mob? These mobs are the Democrats incarnate. They are what the Democrats are. They are what the Democrats do. And we ought to shackle and chain them fast.
Politicians.
Because conservatives are thinking people, and Democrats simply are not. And my friends, if it's a book by Ann Coulter, I heartily recommend that you get it and read it because her books are excellent. She comes with intelligence, with facts, with logic, and more than that you cannot hope for. Item. From the American Mirror, Hillary Clinton may have visions of 2020 if she can just keep her eyes open. The failed presidential candidate started her speech to the American Federation of Teachers Union on Friday in a bizarre way, by telling everyone how tired she was. Quote, "Well, I'll tell you," she said. "I've been back there listening to Randy Weingarten, and I'm so exhausted I can barely stand here." Unquote. This is the woman who collapsed on her way into an SUV. This is the woman who has been shown to have something on her back that she covers up with draperies around her, with baggy clothing, even in extremely hot weather. God knows what's wrong with this woman physically. We all know what's wrong with her mentally. Item from the SACB.com. When the 28-year-old man contacted police Tuesday in Redlands, California, to report being stabbed on the street that morning, he left out a key detail, police said. The man initially told officers in the community near San Bernardino that he'd been walking down the street when someone ran up behind him and stabbed him multiple times in the back without warning, police wrote on Facebook on Friday. Using surveillance video from city and business security cameras, Police tracked down Cynthia Christine Molina, 51, and arrested her Wednesday on suspicion of assault with a deadly weapon, police wrote. Unquote. My friends, I included this item because this is the Wild West kind of country that we have developed into. People regularly, and I see items like this all the time, walking down the street, savagely attacked. You know, I'm an old geezer. I just turned 60 a few days ago. I don't remember hearing about things like this when I was a kid. And the reason is that things like this didn't happen when I was a kid. America is undergoing a change, and I think it's basically keeping pace with the number of third world people we allow into our country. Hint, hint. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tom Phillips, founder of the Green Earth. How many times have you gone into a health food store and are confused as to the many different brands and prices of the same herbal supplements? You want to buy the cheapest, but you're afraid that quality is less, so you buy the most expensive. Truth is, the cheapest may be better. Green Herb herbal supplements are all manufactured in our Wheat Ridge, Colorado plant at 4565 Kipling Street, using the highest quality herbs that we source from all over the world. Our 150 different herbal supplements are the most potent and safest in America. Our guarantee is your money back, no time limit. Just return the bottle empty or full, no questions asked. So when you come to our new location, look for our new name, New Genesis Health, or call us at 888-765-HERB. That's 888-765-4372.
Ladies, this is Danny. For me, the heart attack is different than heart attacks in men. Women having heart attacks will experience nausea, vomiting, indigestion, the breath will simply set being fatigued, but no chest pain. Getting emergency medical help. And call 911 immediately if you're experiencing any of these symptoms. Pain, pressure, burning, or squeezing in the chest, jaw, shoulder, back, or arms that last up to 5 to 10 minutes. Unexplained shortness of breath of 5 to 10 minutes. Sudden severe nausea, vomiting, or indigestion. Sweating for no reason. Sudden unexpected freezing. Loss of consciousness or breathing, or sudden unexplained anesthesia of doom. Lady, it's the first into your body. Follow your instincts, and if you experience symptoms that are disturbing to you anyway, or even remotely related to your heart, get yourself checked out right away. If your doctor brushes you off, that's a sign you need a doctor. One will actually do what necessary to get to the bottom of your symptoms.
We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessing of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, to ordain and establish this Constitution.
American Window Tinting Incorporated, Brightown, reminds parents, keep an eye on your child while shopping. Children tend to stray or become lost. If it poses an opportunity for a would-be offender, please make every effort to keep track of your little ones at all times. If you have information regarding a lost child, call local authorities at once. This message is from American Window Tinting Incorporated in Brightown. For residential or commercial window tinting, call 303-263-4228.
All right, guys, welcome back to Real Truth. The battle against evil continues. Here is Laura Ingraham interviewing Pat Buchanan about the president going to the NATO summit. Now, the interview took place a few days ago, but it doesn't matter because what they're saying is extremely important now. Here we go.
Joining us now is Pat Buchanan, conservative commentator. The president stepped down this morning.
So, my friends, hang on one second. This journalist is a liberal, as most big-time journalists are. And so he's willing to ask a stupid question like, do you think you'll get along with Vladimir Putin, as if getting along with Putin is a question of emotions. Will you like him? Will you feel good? Do you get a good vibe? Will you be in a happy mood? What liberal dimwits like this journalist don't understand is that when two leaders meet, if they're responsible leaders, they're talking business, facts on the ground, logic. They don't care. Emotion doesn't enter into it. It's what's good for me and my people, and that's what liberals will never, ever get.
Somebody was saying, it's anonymous.
And that is exactly right. That's exactly what a mature, intelligent grown-up says. You know, Stalin had no love for Jews, but when the United States under Harry Truman refused to send weapons and other armaments to Israel, Stalin did. Not because he loved Jews suddenly, but because he was able to make money selling them weapons. It was good for the Soviet Union. It was good for him and his people. And that's how leaders make decisions. That's how grown-ups make decisions. It is not how liberals make decisions. Liberals make decisions in the face of facts and reason and logic. All right, we'll take a break. Yes, of course we'll be back. You're anticipating me. We're always back. This is Real Truth. Don't go anywhere.
Celebrating decades of dedication and reach at your meeting. Call 552-1316 for the dedicated step. The mind of children are our future, but future worth protecting. The Patriot Trading Group is a different kind of gold and silver company, cleaning up the industry for 21 years. Are you tired of the high-pressure sales tactics, the constant calls? Are you done with the bait and switch? You just want to be treated fairly with honesty and respect? That's exactly what you get when you call 800-951-0592. You got my word on it. I'm Jim Gateway, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group. Check us out online at allamericangold.com. Howdy, folks. Have you ever thought about having your own backyard chickens? Now you have a source for certified organic, no GMO, no soy chicken feed. HappyHens.biz can even deliver, or you can pick up. Call me, Tim, at 303-829-5948, or go to happyhens.biz for pricing and ingredients. At happyhens.biz, we love happyhens.biz. Or call us at 303-829-5948. The American Freedom Network is not funded or supported by special interest groups or government programs. The American Freedom Network is not sponsored by advertisers demanding content or programming. The American Freedom Network is solely funded by you. If you can keep the American Freedom Network on the air by purchasing one of our sponsored fine products or by calling 1-800-205-6245 to make a demand. The American Freedom Network needs your help.
Guys, you know the name Joe DeGenova. He's on Fox News almost every night, former federal prosecutor. He's here being interviewed on WMAL. This is from earlier today, as a matter of fact, talking about the sorry state of our FBI, which has become the investigative unit for the swamp. Here's Joe DeGenova.
And another guy who runs the
I'm saying today, tomorrow, and next week, this Russia probe was nonsense, garbage, and politics from the beginning. It should end yesterday. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tom Phillips, founder of the Green Area.
Well, it had to happen. Tom will come and dig about America. Let's speak about the Green Area restriction. Also, it legalized on January 1st, 2014. The same day we opened our new location at 4565 Kipping Street, 1.5 blocks south of ourselves. There are 83,000 cars a day passing in front of our new location on Kipping Street, and most of them are marijuana restrictions. So, we changed the name of our retail store to New Genesis Health, but kept the name of our Green Herb Supplement. So, when you come to our new location, look for our new name, New Genesis Health, or call us at 888-765-HERB. That's 888-765-4372, and be sure to listen to the Healthy Nature Show with Mr. Phillips every Tuesday at 1 p.m.
TLR subject want you to remember your life began as the life of every young people. Baby and mother both lose with one and frequent choose abortion. Former abortion doctor Nathan do not expect that there are thousands of serious physical complications of abortion every year. Abortion crises, anxiety disorder, sleep disorder, suicide, violent behavior, sterility, increased risk of miscarriage and delivery complications. International Journal of Epidemiology reported that abortion increases breast cancer risk by 9%. Every hopeless baby has the right to life, too. The life-giving message is brought to you by TLR Associates of Boulder, providing a job well done for your former business. Echo, Stone, and Brick. Call TLR Associates of Boulder, 303-921-3310. TLR Medallion Brand Echo Protection Service to Boulder and Northern Colorado area.
Item from the Daily Mail: a schoolgirl has become a drag queen at just 11 years old in an attempt to transform society's expectations of women into hyper-feminized looks for herself. British-born Bracken Hanke, who lives in Vancouver, Canada, has been dressing in elaborately colorful clothing and exaggerated makeup for 2 years after watching the TV hit RuPaul's Drag Race with a mom, Dominque, 36. She was fascinated by the show's big outfits, larger-than-life personalities, and says, quote, "I knew these were my people," unquote. Number one, the mother, Dominque, should be slapped hard across the face for letting her young, impressionable daughter watch freaks on television, RuPaul's Drag Race. That's one. Number two, a larger issue of what's going on, the glamorizing of drag queens, of transgender people, of gay people, glamorizing these deviant lifestyles, and that's what they are, and if it's not politically correct, that's okay, but the truth is the truth. Transgender people have a rate of suicide above 40%, because those are the kinds of people who engage in transgenderism. And now here's an 11-year-old girl wanting to be a drag queen. I hope that this mother, Dominque, is brought up on charges of child abuse for exposing her kid to this garbage. Item from the Economic Collapse blog, headline: Mass exodus from the church. The percentage of young adults with no religious affiliation has nearly doubled. Quote, "We're witnessing a religious shift unprecedented in size and scope in American history. With each passing year, the percentage of Americans that claim no religious affiliation is growing, and this trend is especially pronounced among our young people. If things continue to steadily move in this direction, that's going to have an enormous implication on the future of society. The United States was founded by people who are extremely committed to their faith, and now we're rapidly becoming a nation where people are choosing no religion at all. We live at a time when there's a mass exodus from Christian churches, and while it's true some smaller faiths are growing, The reality of the matter is that most of the people that are leaving are remaining unaffiliated. According to PRRI, if you go back to 1991, only 6% of all Americans were unaffiliated. Today, the number is shot up to 25%. The most dramatic change during the time period has been among our young people. If you go all the way back to 1986, only 10% of Americans in the 18 to 29-year-old age group were unaffiliated. Today, that number has skyrocketed to 39%. And just because millennials claim a religious affiliation of some sort does not mean that they actually go to church. In fact, a study from the Pew Research Center discovered only 27% of millennials say that they attend religious services on a weekly basis. Stop. My friends, the well-being of the United States of America is connected directly to its faith. And as more Americans lose faith, and I don't care what your religion is, as long as you're not cutting someone's head off, as long as people believe in God less, the fortunes of America will drop exponentially. It is a sad, perhaps the single saddest commentary of all about Western civilization, that we are losing our faith, and losing it quickly. We're so caught up in things, in possessions, in buying things, that we no longer think in terms of God. Well, my friends, there are mistakes you can make, and there are mistakes you can rebound from. This is one of those mistakes that injures you permanently, injures your soul, and it's bad for society as a whole. I'll be back tomorrow with more Real Truth, my friends. Promise me you'll stay safe, you'll stay healthy, and you'll stay angry. Hasta luego.